Hi, Bo here from High Tech Investment, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about Yieldnodes. It's been about 3 months now since we did our last review on Yieldnodes. So this was done in early December last year, and obviously it's time to have a look at it and see how exactly we've done. And we're also going to have a look obviously at how we actually managed to put the 1600% up there, how Yieldnodes is calculating this. Last time when we did our previous video, so it was back in December as I mentioned, it was about 1258%, and since then we just continued to compound. However, we did take 5,000 euros out on the Yieldnodes account here, and that obviously had a bit of an effect on exactly how much profit we have made, but still we've been moving forward. So, and that's what we're here to see today. On top of this, we're also going to have a closer look, obviously, at the different ins and outs of the platform, as always, to see what is the latest and greatest. And last but not least, we will also show you that if you are just getting started with Yieldnodes, or if you're considering it, we'll give you a web page where you can go and you can do your own calculations, so you figure out if this investment opportunity is actually something for you, and you can see how fast that exactly will go. So let's get started. Let's go on the YieldNotes homepage and have a look and see where we are today.
The data on this website is for your information only. It does not constitute professional investment advice, or advice on tax or legal matters. Please remember that all investment strategies and investments involve risk of loss. Nothing contained in this video should be construed as investment advice. Any reference to an investment's past or potential performance is not, and should not be construed as, a recommendation or as a guarantee of any specific outcome or profit in the future.
So being on the Yieldnotes homepage, we start off on the main dashboard, which you see here. And the Masternoding balance we now have is 44,559 and 1 cent. So, or 1.25 Bitcoin, but everything in Yieldnodes is normally addressed in euros. The other ones are simply for reference. Same way as when you get money in and out, it will be converted into euros and it will stay in euros all the way through. Total return on investment so far that we have is actually 34,613. So quite well. We started off with around 15,000 over a period of 4 or 5 months, and we'll have a look at that later. So quite a good return so far, and continues to do quite well. Below we see here the weekly estimate profit. So this particular one is now started for March. So the first week we got 1.8%, and the rest at the moment is unknown. So the next one will be announced on the 14th of March, and then again 21st of March, and then at the end. So February here shows that we made 8.3%, so for 2022. And below we can see the last 3 months of profit, and here we came in just shy of the 3,000 mark, and the previous month it was just above, and then last month here it was about 3,400. So good solid results all the way through. If we go and have a look at the report itself, you will have some of the same numbers as you saw here before. So for the Masternoding, nothing has changed. The detailed report here shows the individual years. So if we go back and start where we took off, which was end of November, so 2020, we can see the net profit we made here was just shy of 500 euros. The average noding balance is not really worth much here. So, but the funding and the return is again not a reflection of exactly how well you have done. It's actually a reflection of how well Yieldnodes have done over the entire year. This is not the compounding profit. This is simply just the individual months all added up. Total deposits in 2020 was 4,900. Total withdrawals, there was none, and no affiliate commissions that we had either. So for this particular one, it was only 1 month. And then we have a full month here of 2021. And for this particular one, so we did a net profit in 2021 of 27,679. Again, the average note balance can really use for much, but as you see, 2021 was very similar to 2020, so just within 0.1. So very good and very stable profits that Yieldnodes has made for us all the way through. The total deposits that we have here of 36,000. So this is not just our initial money, this is also because we are 100% compounding every single month. So that actually counts in the equation here, so that we put it in, it gets basically locked for 6 months until we can withdraw again. Total withdrawal, we did 1 withdrawal in 2020. This was actually used for what you'll see in our news report also. We bought SAP for 1,000 euros, and that has now gone up quite well, so a couple of 100%, so feel free to go and have a look at that. And then this is our affiliate commission for the entire year. And while we are at the affiliate commission, again, we obviously see some false claims that YouTubers and affiliate marketers, all they do is bring people in and live off the affiliate commission. And as you can see here, this is a clear statement that is absolutely incorrect. We put our own money in, we expect our own money to work for us. And obviously we appreciate that people are using the link to support the channel and our website in order to spread the word and the message of if this can be trusted or not, and obviously also show you what kind of profits you can expect to have back. So this particular one you will see every single month in here, and below you will have the entire month. So where you have a little red dot means that you either added money into the account during that period of time, which we did for the first couple of months, and that's why the percentage is slightly off. That's just an alert to let you know. Same thing here of when we took money out. Again, there will be a small percentage difference. So that is basically all it shows. On top of this, you also have the download PDF reports. As you can see, it goes all the way back to when we started in 2020. And you can open that up. This is also good for your tax return. So all you have to do is click this. And once you get the PDF up and running here, so it will tell you the balance that you started with before the month. So, and the end of the balance, what you have made profit in this particular case for January, the referral profits that you have, and then the net profit that you can declare. So very simple and very easy to use platform all the way around. Back on the site here, we move on. Now on this particular one, we move to deposits. Again, we have the same type on the top, so for the Masternodes. But here we have the deposit parts, and already in the last video we made it clear that there's two options now to add money into Yieldnodes. You have the Bitcoin option, the BTC, when you want your Bitcoin wallet to be open. It's only open for a couple of weeks at a time, and then you have to click this particular one again to show and generate the Bitcoin address. You'll get it here, and you can then copy it, so you can use it for whatever app you're using or exchange, transfer your money into Yieldnodes. On top of this, also at the end of the year, they actually added another feature here, so which we had in our latest video too, that you can transfer Tether USDT on the TRC20 network, and that obviously makes it a bit more stable. There's also lower fees to go with this, and you will have the address here where you can basically add it into. On top of this, you will have your deposit history, which is quite interesting, and a lot of people asking when are the funds being released from my initial deposits, and I can show you that here. We just have to go one click back. This will show our beginning. So back then our first beginning was 1,868 that we added into the account, was on the 24th November. So this was a test. And after that we added another 3,000 euros on the 25th. And as soon as this goes in here, you can see it's on the 24th. It has 7 days of lead time until it basically starts producing any profits. So it started on the 2nd of December. And then it tells you also when that particular initial deposit will be released again. And in this particular case, it was 23rd of May. It becomes green as soon as it's available. And you can see here the 5 initial deposits we did. So the first 2 are here. Then we did another one in January of 4,000. We did another one in February of 3,600. And just shy of the 2,000, we did one in March. And they all been released. And if we just scroll up, we can see the deposit history. So because we are compounding, so this is the compounding profit we're getting in. We can see again we made a good profit here, and 1st of October. It'll now tell you that since then it will be locked in for the 6 months duration, and that part will be released on March 30th. And then the next one comes in April, and a couple of these ones here is actually affiliate commissions that have been added to the account, and they have the same 6 months. As soon as you put it in, it will stay there. For the withdrawal, there's another section here, and one of the ones that obviously is quite important also is emergency withdrawal. So normally you should definitely not use any funds that you expect to use within the next at least 6 months here. But if obviously something happens with the family or you are in desperate need of money here and now, you can actually choose this one, emergency withdrawal. So, but I have to warn you here that you will get your money within 48 hours, but there's also quite a bit of a penalty fee of 25% in order to deduct this. So this is definitely only for emergency use only, as it correctly says. On the withdrawal side, so for Yieldnodes, you still have the Bitcoin here at the moment, and you manage your own wallet and you add it to your exchange wherever you have it. The same thing goes for SAP or Sapphire. So we have basically transferred both Bitcoin and SAP, and both of them have worked quite nicely. So if you want to withdraw, you have to remember that you have to do that before the 15th of the month in order to get them out the next month. And there's 2 different dates. So SAP and Sapphire is actually on the 4th, on the following month, where Bitcoin is on the 8th. Every single time we have done the withdrawals, they have come out on time, and we never had any withdrawal issues so at all with this. We also in our news report just mentioned that there's a new section in this particular part where you can support the people of Ukraine with humanitarian aid, and whatever you donate through this particular site, so Woods and Steve, so we'll basically match it, so double it up. We have done a deposit also for this, and obviously we will try to help as so many other people. On top of this, there's the warning again that we have. So if you need money out for April, that means that you need to do it normally between the 1st to the 15th of March, and then you'll get it out on the 4th or on the 8th, depending on which currency. If we go back to a second for the green marker where you're actually getting your money out after the 6 months, you will see it here on the transferred note balance. So all the parts in green you will see here, the 25,327 basically means that this is something we can take out. So if we do that before the 15th of this particular month, we will have it either on the 4th or on the 8th, depending on how we want to transfer the money out. So it's very simple. You always have an easy view of exactly how this works. Automatic compounding is set over here, and for us we have always had it at 100%, but obviously it goes in increments here, and you can have your own individual investment strategies, so where you put your money in and then basically just take your initial deposit out before you start compounding again. So you will see the difference just in a second when we show you a bit more on the profit side. Below here you have your withdrawal history, so anything that relates will be here for every single month. And again, this is the 5,000 where we transferred, so this was basically on the 14th of January, and that we then received on the 8th of February. So it's all very well documented all the way through. If you can't even remember it and don't write it down on your special Excels, you can always go and find all the details in here. So very easy platform to follow all the way through. If you decide that you want to share this with other people, so there's an affiliate summary, and that means that your commission, you will get 5% commission from the Yieldnodes team, so nothing will be taken off from the new people that are coming in. The 5% is only from new deposits. It is not for when you are reinvesting your profits already, so it's only for the initial investments, so that is important to say. And that brings me to the next section, where we see a lot of companies and giving affiliate commissions. And then people are saying, you know, this is basically destroying the companies, and everybody who is sharing affiliate links, you know, is part of this conspiracy that basically the companies will go under. But obviously you can see the profits that we are making compared to the total earnings that we've done over the long period of time we've been here is about 2,000 euros. So there's absolutely nothing to this. So this is just a small incentive of trying to spread the word, trying to get it out that Yieldnodes is actually a good, stable company. And this will definitely not bring them down for this, I can tell you. Apart from this, there's not much else on this particular platform, in the sense that you find your links, and you have a couple of different links here. So again, depending on how you want to track and register it. So if you want your normal link, you can just copy this particular one here, and you will have that in. There's also just self-referring is not allowed, so just be aware of that. If you have you're a private person and you also want to register your company, we suggest that you just send Yieldnodes an email just to advise them that you want to do this in order to get you out of trouble. On top of this, you have some affiliate analytics. It tells you again the credits. This is basically, you know, how much money per click that you will have below, how many clicks you had, how many has registered, how many has deposited. So you see that these numbers are actually quite small compared to the balance that we have. If you want to promote it on your own homepage, you also have an opportunity to do this. There is several codes and there are several pictures that you can basically add to it and promote it on your site. The downline, I will not go into details on that because it shows well exactly what it says, the downline. Pay it forward. This is another good part that Yieldnodes added just at the end of last year. And this is basically, you can invite a friend, and it has a bit of details over here. So saying that the minimum is 100 euros. This is what I did for all my kids. I gave them a little Christmas present, added it into it. And since then they have just been compounding, and then they can add themselves further details. It's a good way of getting new family members or friends started on this great journey with Yieldnodes, so, and get them to see exactly what they're getting out of it. And we will go into a bit more of the calculations later, so you can see exactly what kind of profits you can make over time. And now to my favorite part, which is the performance. And this comes again back to where we said the more than 1,600% that we started off with in this particular video. And as always, we had Yieldnodes set this up, and they had this little project for a long time, where they're saying if you were in from the beginning here, so this will go back to 2019 September, if your initial deposit was 5,000 euros, what would you have today? And as you can see on top of it up here, it'll tell you that the entire profit on that particular time will be 299%, or you would have made 19,950. So this was just the profit if you would have put the 5,000 in and they'd taken out the profit every single month. If we're compounding like we have done, you have seen it's a whole different story. So the 5,000 will basically have grown into 85,395 euros, or more than 1,600%. So quite impressive, and obviously this is the Yieldnodes calculation. We will show you a different calculation also, so from an individual site, and it will basically be the same progress that you will see all the way through. There's also a couple of comparisons here, depending on if you, in this particular case, the lower pink and the yellow ones are the Dow, and it's the gold. If you invested in gold at the same time, same amount of money, where will you be today? You will also see the Bitcoin, and that's the little wobbly part that you will see here going up and down. So this was when Bitcoin was topping out just over 60,000, and then obviously it dropped below the 40 and now recovered, and currently around the 40,000 mark. The other red line that you have here is the one that we saw before, the 19,950, so almost 300%. So if you would have taken out your profit every single month, you would now have been almost having 20,000, and you still have your 5,000 in your Yieldnodes account. But the one that we like, and obviously also we've been following, is the compounding factor all the way through, and then obviously done a few test withdrawals also to make sure that we are slowly but surely getting our initial deposit back. So Yieldnodes compounding 85,000, so and a bit, or 1,600% in that particular time. That is astonishing from September 2019. So let's go for a quick look at one of the online calculators, and I'll show you two different ways that you can start your investments, and you will be quite surprised of the results here. So this calculator site is basically available for everyone, and the links will be in the description below. We have set up the currency at euros. The initial balance will also be same as what you just saw on the website before with Yieldnodes here, 5,000. Interest rate, we have set it to 10%. This has been the average ever since it started, actually a bit higher, but let's just use the around 10% mark. Monthly, so we'll be compounding, and we just take the first 3 years, and this basically means we are not taking any money out. So if we do this and we do our calculations, we will see that after a period of time, so we will then end up with 154,000. Now, how did that happen? So let's just scroll and have a look. So we start off with our initial 5,000, and 10% of this is 500. We then take that 500 and add it into the balance account again, and the next month we are now at 550. Again, the whole part, we add it. Now the balance has gone up to more than 6,000, and so it continues. 12 months later, we are now at an interest rate, and this is again per month, 1,426. So the total interest that we have made in this particular time then is more than 10,000, and our balance has gone up to 15. So this looks quite violent, but this is actually just pure math, and as you will see, it will grow. So 2 years in, you will now be at 4,400 roughly. Again, this is as a saying, this is just a 10% now of the moment picture. Obviously, Yieldnodes has been producing more, it's been producing less over time. So 4,400, and then you can see the entire interest over those 2 years has now made 44,000. That means your balance is now at 49. So obviously all this has been done with just 5,000. So there's no particular magic in it. It's pure math. And if you leave it even longer, you'll obviously see that this becomes very interesting. So more than 14,000, so that you will basically be getting out each and every month. So the interest rates that you have, and all of a sudden your balance has grown in 3 years' time from a simple 5,000 into more than 150. So this compounding part is definitely a wonder of the world, and it is something we highly recommend. We've done it the same. You can see the profits that we have made, and we have been in here now for a bit less than 1.5 years, but definitely we can see the power of the compounding. So the second way, or a different option, if you don't have a lot to invest in the beginning, it doesn't mean that you can't really make this grow. So what we've just done here is we start off with an initial balance of 1,000 euros instead. We still continue with the 10% for the rate. We do it over 3 years. And then instead we just assuming that you can then add 100 euros every single month. So when you have your payday, you basically just put in 100 euros. And you'll be quite surprised to see what that actually brings. And over a 3 year period of time here, you will then end up with more than 60,000 if we take 10% as an average. And how exactly did that happen? Well, again, so we start off with 1,000, and then you just add 100 every single month, so a bit every single time. You continue to compound it, and you basically end up after a year with about 470 a month. So total deposit at that particular time is 2,200. Total interest has now risen to 3,000, and then your entire balance is past 5,000. If you want to go a bit further and see where you end up, again, you continue to pay in the 100 euros a month. You are now ending up with more than 1,600 in this particular case. And your main account is now up to 18,000. And if you go down 3 years, you can see already here that this has become quite impressive. So with more than 5,000 a month, and then you end up with the 60,000. So the calculations are definitely valid. So it's all up to you how actually you want to implement these investment strategies. Now, we love our little spreadsheets, so we just want to share this with you also, as we obviously monitor Yieldnodes and the percentage that we get every single month. We also monitor the average percentage that is coming out to see if it's improving or it is decreasing. And we have a close look here, and this goes back to the early days. You can actually see that we also highlighted this part as development section. There's a beta section here also, and you'll see some of the same on the YieldNotes homepage. So back in August, when they started off, actually on the first development, you can see the percentage. This is actually 1.8%, 11.1, 10.6, so on and so on. And the average profit for the first year was 56.3%. So that is not bad. We also have the average, and this is basically month by month. So taking all the months and dividing them out, we're at 11.26. The second year we had here, so is 2020, and this is where we came in. So we came back in November, and we can see that again it lines up with what Yieldnodes have on their homepage. We can see the average, and this basically goes all the way back from August and then moves forward. And you can see the average numbers is just over 10%. If we divide it completely over the individual months here, so you will see that it's 10.38, so which is again quite solid. And then we go to the second part here. We'll now show you, so 2021, and we started January 12%, then we had a massive 19.2%. All in all, we ended up with 124.2%, so this is without the compounding. And as you can see, the average monthly was also 10.35. So very solid all the way through. What is standing out is obviously now we're starting for 2022. And the first numbers that we have in average, we are still looking at 10.4%. If we go all the way back from we started, we are at 16.3% at the moment. So obviously we only have 2 months. The average of this is currently 8.2 or 8.15 to be exact. And then apart from this, we will also notice, you can see if we have a look, it's single digits. We only managed to get in October and we managed to get in August, just over 10%. Last time we had a higher one was actually back in April. So this is a bit like we talked about earlier, that as some of these things become more mainstream, a lot more people are getting involved in this. Slowly but surely, we believe that the profit will go down. We fully understand that Yieldnodes is not sitting on their laurels and doing nothing, because they have engaged and they have Desenemy, which is also working together with this, with a lot of different coins. So obviously all these also have an effect. But we do see that in the last many months, it has been harder and harder to maintain the double digits. So if you want to do the calculation that you just saw before, and you don't want to have too much of a disappointment for the future, we suggest that you maybe use 8% instead per month. It will still give you a very great profit, of course, and many times more than you will get from bonds. 8% is normally what you will get from SP 500 over a long period of time. So an average for the SP 500 is about 8%, and here you're actually getting it every single month. So still impressive investment. They continue to do well. We haven't had a single month in red. So that's all the data and all the mathematics that we're going to have from Yieldnodes here today. So there you have it. Plenty of profits from Yieldnodes. Very good, very stable, not a single month in minus ever since we started. So which is quite impressive, but obviously again, this is not trading, this is not mining Bitcoin. It's basically server rental programs, and obviously they have now added also part of the Desenemy section with a lot of different coins. So both staking, Masternoding, and a lot more about that in a future video. We can see that they have the future under control. Definitely when you look back at it, we can see that the percentage has been very high. It has come down a bit, and obviously we have mentioned this before, that when things are becoming mainstream, when more people are getting involved with it, it's quite natural that the profit will slowly but surely decline. It doesn't mean that Yieldnodes is on its way out, far from it. I think they're very well positioned, so with what they have currently. But obviously you should not expect double digits every single month. We believe that if you do a calculation like we just did here before, maybe not use 10, but you can use 8%. At least you should be on a reasonable side of what you think you can get out of this. Definitely it will show you what can be done over a period of time if you leave the money there and you don't need it. Obviously there is possibilities if you go in and you need it as an emergency fund, but a very expensive option, so definitely not recommended. Apart from it, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you saw the results, and as always, we're trying to be as transparent as possible here, so you can see exactly how this platform works. We're happy with it, and we're going to do another video in a couple of months' time. And until then, see you on the next video. Bye bye.